Welcome back, everybody. This is the Uncharted Vapor, and today I'm bringing you a review on an item that I picked up for the purposes of the review. Now, with me giving you that, this is going to be an item that is very sought after and very hard to get your hands on. I was lucky enough to get one. So what we're going to be talking about today is going to be the steam pipes, Cabello ES version, it says version 5.5, which means 5.5 mils of juice. Now, this is an RDTA, which is coming out of Germany, and the rendition that I got it in for a very specific reason was an MTO or mouth to lung version, but also picked up their direct lung kit, which all it is a very simplistic swap. Since then, new accessories have come out which allow you to do some more fine tweaking. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring this down low. I'm going to wick it, show you some functionality of how it works, use it, we're going to vape on it, and give you my final thoughts at the end. So with that, I'll see you guys down below. Alright guys, so here we are with the steam pipes Cabello RDTA. Rebuildable dripping tanking atomizer. I don't know who's going to be dripping on this, but to me it's just an RTA, but a very unique RTA indeed. So, comes in a standard silver tin. We've seen a lot of tins like this, things of such as like the Typhon GT3 out of Germany, came in a suitcase. Then in the GT4 they came in a tube. And then other companies come in things like this, like the Danny box, etc. Come in a silver tin like this. So inside of the tin itself, you're just going to open it up. Be careful when you open it up. You're going to get the user manual, which is very confusing for most people if you don't understand it and understand how to use it. So I'm going to tell you without reading it how to operate the unit itself. So that way, hopefully, this will give you some information if you have one. So it comes wrapped up just like this from the factory. This is the MTL version, how it comes. And with that, I do have the direct lung kit, and I'll show you what comes inside of that as well. This is all the packaging with it, and underneath you're going to get your spares. That's all that's going to come with this. Okay, so let's just go ahead and put the confetti that is packed with back inside of the tin. You're going to get your extra O-rings and some extra grub screws as well. So that's the spares that come with it. And then you're going to get an adapter. Now, what is this adapter for? This is your own 510 adapter. So you can put this on in place of the 510 here if you have your own 510 that you want to run. Okay, so the way the tank operates is you have many pieces, you know, so you're going to loosen up the tip here. I'm going to take mine off. You can now pop this off. There's one section, then you can pop the next section off. There's section 2 or 3 parts of this, and then here comes your main deck, which then you can unscrew right here, which I have done like that. And then inside you're going to see your feeding channel right here. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that out, and your tanking window, your tank window, not tanking window, but your tank, the O-ring that goes with it to seal your tank, and then the piece that makes everything work like magic. So inside, here's your 510. I didn't use any tools because I've already loosened this up. It has a massive insulator on the inside of this. So you just take this, you're going to slide this back down on top, and if you notice on the inside, right there on the bottom, it has a gap. That's where your juice is going to feed. You're going to take your O-ring, set it back up on top, like so. So it just sits on top of it. You're going to take your glass, or it's actually plastic or PMA, or probably PC1000, something like that. Set it back in, this is your window. Take your main deck. This has got an O-ring already on the top. Screw them back together, and then now you've assembled your tank. So there's that. So let's go ahead and set this back together on top of a mod. Now, when you build this, I would highly suggest that you remove this insert right here. Now, this insert is the MTL insert, so let me go ahead and grab a screwdriver real quick and show you. So, on each side of this, there's a little area where you can put the tip of a flathead in and pop it. And you'll feel it pop when you do it. Then I come on the sides and just make sure that it's loosened all the way around before pulling it up, because I don't want to snap this because it is Delrin, and you can wiggle it off. So this is your insert. So you're going to build your coil. Once you get your coil in, you're going to put your guide rod inside it there. Now, what this is supposed to be is this side. On some videos that I've now seen after I did it, it was supposed to be marked, but mine is not. This is 0.8 millimeters on this side, and this side right here is actually 1.2 millimeters. So it's a slightly larger hole right here versus right here for your MTL users. That's why it's the MTL kit. Then in the direct lung kit, you're going to get another deck or ring. So in this one, this is straight 3 millimeters inner diameter all the way around. So your holes right here are 3 millimeters straight through, as you can see. So same thing, 3 and 3 coil jig, and they just clip in. Now this is the MTL side, so you can see the difference on the base of this. And then inside you're also going to get a new drip tip, which will allow you to convert this over into a direct lung setup if you want to go that route. So if you're building low or whatever and that's what you want to do, this is how you'll put it on, and there's how it would look. So there's the direct lung version of it. Let's go ahead and get that to focus. There you go. And you have to loosen this up, and this is where your airflow is. So if you look on the inside, when you spin this deck right here, let's get it to focus, you're going to see it open, right? Let's see if we get something to let you see. So you can see how the screwdriver goes in and out. You can see it. And that is dual-sided airflow. So you have airflow on this side. So now it's opened here and it's opened here. If you twist it again, you can open a single port by itself. So now only that port is open right now. And what it does is it allows you, when this is sitting down on here like this, is it dictates which side, if you're going to run both of them, is going to be ran. So there is a cutout on the inside where this will set together here. So what I've done is made a hybrid connection. So on the mod right now, let's go ahead and re-ohm it. It's saying a 0.18. This is a 3 millimeter inner diameter coil. Let that cool off right there. We're just going to take our round ring without touching that coil and clip it back in spot, and that's pretty much it. Then all you do is you take your coiling jig, you go to 3 millimeters, and you make sure it's just cleaned up and lined up. Now I set mine on the 4 millimeter spot to give it the airflow I want it. And why I do that is so that when the air comes in, it's going to go underneath the coil as well as hit the side of the coil for better flavor. So now for wicking this. So I take off the MTL side. I had to think for a second. And I don't run that. It's very restrictive, no matter even with full airflow, and I've noticed that. So this is definitely, you can get MTL out of this. But I also don't use the direct lung tip. So I put that back away as well. And we set those off to the side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put some wick right through this. And I'm going to show you what to do. So, to wick this right, you want to make sure your cotton sits down right on top of these juice ports. Let's get it to focus. There we go. You want it to sit inside of this kidney right here where these round kidney holes are, but then these slits are. You want it to sit right on top of that. So you want it directly on top of it, not above it. If you go above, you're going to get dry hits if you go too short. But you're not going to tuck it inside down here into the tank itself. It's just going to sit on the top. So what you do is this. So you can see it. So let's go ahead and get it rolled. Pull through. Get it grabbed. There we go. Alright. There's that. We wave it out again. Where's my scissors again? My non-cutting scissors. And I usually come right to the base of the deck. Just a little bit out. Again. Just right outside the base of the deck. Okay. And now we got this. You just fluff it up. Just so that it wicks right. You know, you want to make it loose. You don't want to make, you know, really tight cotton inside. Then take your tweezers. And tuck it right on the inside. And all you're going to do is just tuck it down into that wicking well port. And you want to make sure you have enough cotton tucked in to fill that kidney up right on those ledges. So that way, if your tank, for some reason, you tip over your mod or whatever, the juice does not flow out of it. It's just going to flow to this cotton. Now, the reason why you do this, as you vape on it, that little chimney I showed earlier where the O-ring and they had that little ledge, it's going to flow juice up into this cotton and it's going to constantly feed. Think of like a mesh straw setup. That's basically what it is. It's kind of similar to running a mesh straw without running mesh. That's how I see it. So take this, tuck it in, on both sides, and I make sure it's set down on both. And I'm using cotton bacon prime on this, so I know it's expanding cotton too. So when it goes in, it'll fill up the ports. And I'm going to run the same juice that I normally run. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to be running the one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-saturate it here and here. Run on top of the coil. Get it to burn it in. Saturate it again. Burn it in. Do it again. There we go. Now it's starting to get it. Alright, and then you're just going to take it and put it in that hole and squeeze your juice in and fill it up. Granted, this is not a nipple bottle, so you have to make sure you don't go outside that hole, but it's going to fill up really easily. Alright, so there it is. So that's filled up. Now, it's going to be tight when you first get it, but then all you're going to do now is line the sections up, seal it down, okay? Grab your drip tip, which I'm going to use the MTL tip on this one here. Alright, there we go. You want to get it just on there. Then you're going to look at your holes. You're going to see where is my airflow. So now I can spin it. I'm going to open up both sides, but then I'm going to close it a little over halfway. Tighten down the drip tip. And now it locks my airflow control out. Now with that, perfect flavor. It's got a little bit too much air, so let's loosen up the drip tip. We're going to close it some more. Lock it back down. And that's it. That's how you wick the Cabello RDTA RDTA as they call it, by Steam Pipes. Makes it very simplistic, very easy, and there's not much else to it. I just showed you how to swap out the air disc, and what I do is a hybrid setup on the direct lung kit, and I have zero issues by running the 3mm airflow, dropping the airflow down on the dual-sided airflow, so both sides are getting air to the coil, and then running, you know, the MTL style drip tip for it to be a little bit more restrictive. Just made it the best overall to me. So that's what I do. Then I'm gonna put everything back in with the confetti. I even leave the kit in there with the confetti so I don't lose it. And close the tin off. Confetti, I think, is the most pain in the butt thing to get sealed up, because you're gonna see it stick out still some. There we go. There's that. Okay, so there's that. So we don't have to worry about dry hits now, because see, it's been setting. I'll take a hit. Firing at 19.5 watts on a 1.8 ohm build. And then take your cap off, and as you can see, it is still thoroughly wet. Let's get that to focus. It is still fully saturated. Every time you pull, it seals it and brings the juice up. Then you just put your airflow back down. Bam, there we go. Everything is done. So that is the Cabello RDTA by Steam Pipes. So with that, guys, I will see you guys back up on top for my final pros and cons. Alright guys, welcome back up on top. We're going to talk about the Cabello RDTA by Steam Pipes. So this says version 5.5. So basically there's more before that. Very hard, sought after RDTA by a lot of collectors. This is the MTL version with the DL kit. So that was purchased separately. New accessories are now out, which have screw-in basically inserts similar to inserts like that of the Skyline R. And so let's go over some pros and some cons of the device. So one con of the device I'm going to say is a user manual, which is the weirdest thing that you're going to go over is a user manual. But the user manual does not have English as far as the ability to show how to disassemble, assemble, and all the parts, etc. Unless you speak the languages like German and Italian and whatever else it's in. It only tells you basic stuff and in English and writing of what not to do. The breakdown of the tank is rather simple, rather easy. It does give you multitude of options and the ability to run single airflow, dual airflow, etc. It is a larger diameter RDTA, I believe is 25 millimeters. That's inches. Let's switch to millimeters. So overall, it is going to measure in at 24 millimeters exact at the bottom base. Center is 23 millimeters back to 24 millimeters. So overall 24 millimeters is what this RDA is going to measure in at, is 24 millimeters. But flavor on it, I'm going to give you this. It's tremendous. I'm using the MTL. I've used my own drip tips, and it's just amazing. Let's up the wattage. I forgot to do that. Oh, nope. There we go. 20 watts. Now, the thing is, let's go ahead and see if it re-ohms again. Nope. Stay the same. So, we are at a 3 millimeter inner diameter coil, 32 gauge by 2, nichrome 80. I forgot how many wraps are on it, but at 20 watts, running 6 volts at 20 watts and 3.3 amps. Airflow is dual-sided right now, but it's cut down very low. Now, what I did is what I called a hybrid setup. I put in the 3 millimeter inner diameter direct lung airflow ring. for the coils. I set it up as a 4mm coil on a coiling rod. The reason why I did that is to raise and elevate the coil just high enough so that way airflow went underneath and came back up, and basically it swirls around the coil, which to me has produced better flavor. I have played with it with a lower set coil, a directly even 3mm coil with a 3mm rod, and different things. This will be very, very stiff if you get one when you first get it, obviously, because it won't be lubed up. Okay, and with that, once you get it apart, you'll be okay. Once you get, you know, some juice in there, make sure you juice your O-ring so everything plays nicely with you, and then it'll come right off with no problem. Now with that, you know, to put it back on, it's real simple. There you go. So there was one no-no I just did. So as you can see, it's still saturating the coil with no problem, okay? Non-stop, it stays wick. So I guess that's why they call it an RDTA, because it's similar to an RDTA by having the wicks at the very bottom. But instead, it's feeding up through a tube to the wicks and dropping back down when it's not used. And it's constantly just flowing from the bottom up. And I call it that of a mesh style, because a mesh style, if you know, you put mesh straws down, you set your cotton up on top of it, and then those will constantly wick your cotton. So really easy. So that was really the only con I have, is the user manual. Finishing on it was immaculate and superb inside and out. The ability to put your own drip tip is nice. The ring looks a little funny in a way, because the way it looks and sets on here, and the way you unlock it is just by twisting your drip tip, loosening it, and then you adjust your airflow that way, and then you tighten your drip tip back down. That's the way you do it. That's pretty much it. And then you got your juice window, so you can kind of see how much juice is left inside. Other than that, there's nothing more to go over. This is the Cabello RDTA by Steam Pipes. I hope I helped somebody or anybody with it. I showed you the wicking, not the building. Building is very easy. Just put your leads inside, put it together. Once you do, you're going to put that ring back on and then put your rod in. It's just that simple. And I did show you the wicking and how to do it and the best way to do it and better explanation, because a lot of the videos I saw on this, people just said just put your cotton on top. Well, I didn't tell you that you actually need to make sure that it's sitting on top of the cutouts inside of those kidneys in order to function properly. So I hope that helps everybody. So anybody who has it won't have those issues, or maybe you're just fighting with why it's not wicking right. But I've had zero issues with it wicking now since I figured that out. And the flavor on this, rating this from a 1 to 10, overall, I will give this, you know, an 8.5. Easy, 8.59, just because of the ease of use, but because of the manual, I took a point off for that. So, other than that, guys, until next time, I'll catch you on the next review.